Ladies and gentlemen, we got a special Big Brown Breakdown for you. I don't know how we made this happen, but we got Joey Diaz on the west side. We got him all the way down in Playa Vista, and it only took an Uber chopper to get you here.
That's
and
it.
a 10-man security team.
That's it.
And some edibles, but we got you here.
Here. No, I go to acupuncture down here.
Yeah.
And I kept coming and going. I wonder where how far Brendan is from here. And Callan, I don't see Callan.
Ever.
Ever.
You don't see him at the store? Around?
Never.
He doesn't do too many sets at the store.
No, because he lives far away. So he says it's a long ride. So I don't see you only through Justin.
Yeah.
If I talk to Justin will go, Brendan wants you to go down there.
Yep.
I'm like, dog, it's an hour down and an hour back. But I got to be honest with you. I go on the road 2 weeks a month. And that long week that I'm home, by Thursday, I'm ready to get out. So I come down here.
Really?
I go to acupuncture. Yeah, I don't mind the 405 one day.
Yeah.
At 11 o'clock.
Depends what time.
11. I leave the house at 10. I go Sepulveda instead of getting on the 101.
Yes,
and I shoot, and I get in the HOV lane solo.
Yep.
I put a little hat on the fucking baby car seat with a little blanket and a little teddy bear in that motherfucker. And I get in the HOV lane all the way down to Venice. Boom, Washington Boulevard, right to acupuncture. And I tell you what, I get down, I get out of acupuncture, I walk around the block a few times, I get a smoothie, I smell the ocean air.
It's good for you, man.
And
Good for your skin.
It's good
everything.
for fucking everything. And I get back in the car and fight that 405 before.
Well, you got to make sure you're on the road by 3:30. Because when people complain like, God, LA traffic's so bad, it depends.
It depends.
It depends on your timing.
It depends. I'm 54. I got one foot in the grave, one a banana peel. So my time, bro, is fucking important.
Hell yeah, it's valuable.
You know, you want to be more social. You want to do so many things, but you always have to throw that traffic into the equation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like getting places. You know those motherfuckers? Sorry, traffic, bitch. You know LA traffic is a motherfucker.
Yep.
You got to leave early. You got to plan it. I got a meeting down here Monday at 9:30 a.m. You know what time I'm leaving?
What, 7:30?
I'll leave at 5:45.
Fuck.
I'll come down here early, bring a
You get
notebook,
some coffee or something?
get breakfast, eat down here on 26th Street and Ocean Avenue, get that ocean air. First meeting is at 9:30, second's at 10:30. I get out at 11. I'm going to hit Benihana. I already got a plan.
Damn, it's a Benihana?
There's a Benihana right in, or
You talking about Benihana in Santa Monica?
or if I get out early, I'll try to catch street sports.
Oh, yeah.
And Salami's teaching on Monday, so I'll catch the hour down there. They got a shower. I wash my little pussy, and I go to Fox at 3 o'clock. And
Damn, you plan the whole day.
Because if not, you're dead in L.A.
Yeah, man.
If I just go, okay, I'll meet Brendan. Brendan, you have a child now.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to talk to you.
Yep.
But you get these people that you'll meet with, and 10 minutes into the conversation, you're like, why did I get in my fucking car for this?
I agree.
I could have done this on the phone with you, bro. This is an hour that even if I don't go to jiu-jitsu today, I could swing steel clubs. I could do a couple of squats. I could jump some rope. I could do 30-minute little workout. But instead, I'm fucking here with you talking about a script that's never going to happen,
dude,
or a stupid TV show.
Preach.
And you want to support people.
I know, man.
But you have that child in the mix.
Yep.
If I'm not picking up a check at 9 in the morning, I got to drive her to school. And if I'm not picking up a check at 5:30, I have to drive her to school.
Yep.
People, there's a podcast now that you have to be there at 6:30. And they're great guys. And I told them, I said, brother, I love you.
6:30 a.m.?
6:30 at night by the airport.
Oh, no.
And they get canceled every week. And I said,
Not
no,
happening.
You got to move that up to 9 because that's an hour and a half.
Dude, I got another. I know a podcast. They do it on Sundays. My only day off. They keep asking me to come on. I'm like, it's not happening, man. My only day off Sunday. But when I recharge and I have my kid the whole day, it's not happening.
It's tough.
Do you hate ratings and guests? Because a Sunday show's a terrible idea, man.
I like my Sunday late show. I do a podcast. If I'm in town, like this week, I'll do a Sunday at 9. By 8 o'clock, you'll be begging me to get out of the house on Sunday. You're like, honey, I got to go for a ride. And you come over, we smoke pot, we do the podcast, and you're out of there by 9:30, and I have it ready for Monday morning.
Yeah.
That's big.
Oh, no,
for
I
me.
like that. I like
That's
that.
big for me.
I get
But
down with that. for
time
Monday
management,
morning.
man, when I first got here, my time management is horrible. And that's part of your success is time management.
It's everything. Well, I feel like with you, like the other night we were at the Comedy Store and we got done, you know, people want to be around Uncle Joey. Like everyone gravitates towards you. So if they want to hear stories and you're obviously the life of the party. So you, out of anyone, really have to navigate through all kind of that bullshit.
It's tough.
I'll tell you who struggles with it most, and Callan will admit this. This isn't anything bad. Callan's terrible at time management. As far as spending energy or time on people or projects where I'm like, dude, this is a dead end. Like, I'm telling you, you're wasting your time on this.
And people think you're negative
that
sometimes. People go, well, you're a bit on the negative sometimes. After you've been here sometimes and you see what goes into things, you have to, like I tell people right off the bat, it's not going to work. I just don't have time in my schedule to commit to you right now because you're asking for a big commitment.
See, that's not an asshole. To me, I'm not wasting your time. This isn't going anywhere.
No.
Let's just, you find someone who will do this project for you, man.
No, I'm big on my time. And, I was married when I was young and I blew it. Mm-hmm. And I paid dearly for that because I don't have a relationship with my daughter. So this time around, I know exactly how to behave myself. Listen, the best jiu-jitsu class at Alberto Crane's is Saturday at 12.
Yeah.
That's the one you want to go to. That's everybody could go there. And you get to row with different people. I can't make Saturday. The baby has soccer at 10:30.
Not happening,
and
right?
I can't tell her 11:30. I got to go. It's a whole afternoon. We go to Mickey D's.
Yeah, man.
She goes to Old McDonald's and she eats. And that makes her happy. So that kills me till about 1:30 till I put it down at 2:30,
When do you find time when do you do your writing? Like, I know Rogan, and this is always fascinating to me with comics because everyone has their own process. Like, Rogan does his at night, like late at night. The one of the things that I admire about Joe, our mutual friend Rogan, is he's so busy. Like, when I think I'm busy, Rogan's busy. You're busy. But Rogan finds time for his kids, do these shows, the UFC, stand-up. He has all this stuff going on. But nothing ever interferes with his kids. Like, he's having dinner with them, put them to bed.
You have to.
He got off a plane from, I think it was UFC, the Conor McGregor at Madison Square Garden. He got off the plane, went straight to Disneyland with his kids. I was like, God, dog.
Now, I was with Joe when he first started having kids. And on Saturday nights, that little UFC shit that we go to dinner and then we talk shit and he would shoot pool till 4 in the morning. I used to tell him, this is coming to an end soon. And he used to tell me, don't tell me, blah, blah. Because when you walk in your door on a Sunday, that kid doesn't give a fuck about what you did the night before. He doesn't give a they don't give a Frenchman's fuck.
Nope.
So if you've noticed, when you go to a UFC with Rogan now, it's a quick dinner and it's night time.
Yep.
Because he tries to get his 6 or 7 before he walks into the mouth of the line.
Hell yeah.
And I do the same thing on Sundays.
Yeah, man.
I bring the sleep apnea machine on the plane, dog.
Really?
I catch the first plane out, and I catch those fucking... Have you been on JetBlue Mint yet?
No.
To New York?
Is it nice?
It's a fucking room.
What?
So you get the even rows. Get row 4, 2, 4, or 6, and it's you by yourself. You close the door, the bed goes all the way back.
Damn, I'm not mad at that.
It goes only from L.A. to JFK and L.A. to Boston. No L.A. to New Jersey or no Burbank to Kennedy. So I get my hours on a plane if I can because I know when I walk off that plane,
it's go time.
We're on till 2. Till 2 until she has that fucking nappy noodle time.
Yes, sir.
And that's when I crinkle up in my bed. I wash my pussy. I take a 2-hour nap. And we're all together at 5 to watch 60 Minutes and eat dinner. That's what we do. We watch 60 Minutes.
Yeah. I think, I just find it fascinating because Rogan was saying, after all the madness is done, dinner, see my wife, see the kids, he was done all right at night. I just find it interesting when people find the time to be creative and write.
4:30 in the morning.
That's when you do it?
Yeah, that's why you don't see me out at night.
Yeah, I never see you out at night.
Podcast nights, I'll go to bed right after the podcast, and then I'll wake up about 4, check my phone, I'll go on the computer, I'll promote whatever gigs I have at 4:30. So New York City gets them at 7:30, so I get to you first. And then I smoke some pot, and I write, and I get so fucking high that by 5:30, 5:45, I got to take a nap.
Yeah.
But I get an hour in of writing, and it's good writing. It's fresh in the
you're
morning.
Physically writing out because some people, they don't. Yeah.
I'm a notebook guy.
Yep.
And I'll just write, take whatever I took from it, and I'll go back to bed about 6 and wake up at 7 with the girls. Mm-hmm. Just another 1 hour, and I'll wake up at 7. Mm-hmm. Then when I come back from jiu-jitsu, I take a shower, I eat, and then I write then till I have to pick her up at 5:30. And then at 5, I try to watch the beginning of Eyewitness News. If they're political and me to death, I turn it off, and I just talk to my wife till 5:30, then we go pick up the baby.
Yep.
That's my fucking schedule.
I dig it, brother.
And it works. And that's all I could give right now at this age. You know,
It must work because you're killing it, bigger than ever, right?
You know,
Selling out everywhere. We got the same agent.
Yeah, so no, we're working. It's a hard job. You know, I could tell my agent I want to go out 4 weeks a month, and he'll book me out 5. And my family, like, I'll be happy. The money will be good, but it'll take away from my family, and it'll take away from my podcast.
Yep.
When I do a lot of road work, I can see the numbers on my podcast going down. So I have to keep an even. So even though I could do 3 weeks at my age and energy-wise, I do 2.
Yeah.
I do 2, and then for 2 weeks I focus on the podcast. I schedule guests. I send back all the fucking emails they send you with the scripts and this and that and this and that, and it all works out. When I look at my week, I have a notebook. I have 2 notebooks. I have the weekly, what I have, and then I have the little one with the calls I got to make for the day. I put it down to a science.
Yeah, you must, man.
It's a science. Mm-hmm. I could tell you, as crazy and as stoned as I am, I could tell you where I'm going to be at every time of the day. Mm-hmm. That's big to me. Like I could tell you where I'm going to be at 3:31. You know, I could tell you where I'm going to be at 4:05. I'm one of those dudes. Yeah. I do everything. I try to go to the doctor every week.
Discipline, man.
If not, this gets away from you. And once this gets away from you, then you're done. And this is why there was no success early in my career.
Really?
Yeah, because you're just cuffing it. You're just playing by the hoof. You know,
just playing by ear, just going through the motions.
Yeah, that's not good. You have to put your time in every day. And
I feel like, especially today, like I was talking to one of the head guys of comedy at CA, and he said this, I won't mention his name, this older comic, you know, he's a well-known guy, but he's not doing well on the road. He's not selling tickets, but he refuses to do social media. And he was like, bro, like, and the guy was, he goes, you know, there's this podcast that came in, referring to us, he goes, and they sold out, and it's bullshit, and that's not real. And he's like, well, man, you're not changing with the times, like, it's new. And I told him, I said, the way I look at my phone is that's my publicist, man. This is it's just an electronic publicist. And if you're not doing that shit, you get left behind, especially sell tickets. You're just gonna plan on walk-up sales? That's insane.
Listen, man, there's people that don't want to make the transition and they fall behind. I compare comedy to MMA every fucking day.
How so?
My comedy changed since I became a fan of MMA because there's so many aspects that go into MMA, the same way of so many aspects that go into comedy. Let's take the elephant out of the room. I've always loved you. Yeah. I've always loved you. I've had a great respect for you. You get punched in the fucking head. Not a lot of people could get punched in the head. You decided one day you didn't want to do this. You didn't want to fight no more. You didn't see it anymore. You didn't have what you had when you first started. You know, sometimes people look behind the curtain or something and it changes. Yep. You know, I hate the business of stand-up. I fucking hate the business of stand-up. I hate the business of stand-up. But I love stand-up comedy. Yeah. So I'm caught in so I figured out how to avoid all those things that I don't like from stand-up comedy, the egos and stuff like that. You got out of it. You started a podcast. It became very successful. One day I'm going through fucking Facebook, and I see that fucking Brendan Schaub's doing stand-up at the store, and I go, no. I go, why is he doing this? I don't want him. You know, in my heart, I'm like, and I wasn't hating.
No, but yeah.
I just didn't know what you were going to go up there and talk about.
Protective, man, yeah.
I avoided you.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't say a fucking word. I can't. I don't want to be put in a position where Brendan comes up to me and asks me, what do I think? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's my brother. The other day, I fucking, you know, Ari's gone. So I called Eric, and I go, Eric, do you mind if I host? Ari wrote me a letter. And he goes, I want you to watch. And you know, so the other night when I went to that storytelling show,
this is not
happening. Yeah. I was sitting there as Joey Diaz, but in my mind, I was Ari. And I would go up to Ari afterward and go, what do you think of that story? And he'd go, he's talking about this. That's not a story. That's a bit, you know? And I compared.
You were a little cold to me even when I came in.
Oh, yeah. I knew so.
I text Rogan and Brian. I'm like, dude, did I do something to Joey before this? Like weeks before.
I go, God damn it. Listen, you're a fighter. You've had 30 fights, you said on stage the other night?
I've had a bunch, yes.
30 fights,
yeah.
Okay.
Amateur boxing.
What if tomorrow I got my blue belt and you were happy for me, and then 2 weeks later you saw a picture of me on Twitter at the boxing gym on Sunset with my fat little gut, and all of a sudden, a month later, you saw Joey going to a smoker.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Joey goes 5-0.
Yeah.
He arm bars one guy, or
Yeah.
Kimura's him with his weight. The other guy was a lucky punch. You know what, those smokers, not everybody's ready for MMA, and
For
maybe
sure.
I'm better. I go 5-0. One day I bump into you, and I got the balls to tell you, bro, I'm quitting stand-up. I talked to Dana. He's going to give me a fight against. You're going to look at me and go, Jesus, Joey, you're a good stand-up. Why are you doing this?
I get it, man.
So when all this is going down, I'm like, why is this happening? I like him on the podcast. I'm sitting there, and you went on stage, and more, every fucking 2 minutes, I fell in love with you more. I thought you were going to go up there and tell a story about UFC pussy and fucking protein stinky pussy or something. It was completely different. You told a fucking very touching story of your heart and what your goals were, and you had it set up. You had the tags at the perfect place. You talked about, things that I've always laughed about. Like, this is why I don't go to sport games, because you got to walk in with a jersey. What if that team loses? You got to take the train all the way home in New York with a Mets shirt on like a fucking asshole.
Yeah, people don't think about that.
Oh, I can't imagine being on the losing end of a fight and walking out holding your stuff. They never even show it. Only once, when Aldo lost. Dana White made sure that camera was on Aldo. They had him in the bathroom crying.
It's humiliating.
It's humiliating. It's fucking humiliating. You describe it, and you put me there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, oh, my God, I could never fucking do this, what he did.
Mm-hmm.
And you went, and I left there that night blown away. Like, I went home and sat in the living room, and I said, talent is talent. I'm such an asshole for thinking that. I thought, I've had a lot of people who have just gotten into stand-up, and then after they've done it a year, they've actually come up to me and put their chest up to me. Said, bro, I'm going to Montreal, and it took me a year. And in my mind, I won't wish him no evil, but I'll go, this motherfucker has no idea. He has no idea. He's going to go up there and bomb when he sees the big lights. It's like fighting in smokers.
For sure.
And then I'm in Vegas, bitch. And even though I'm 5-0 and I got a great right hand,
Different
and
animal.
I got a great jiu-jitsu game, my guard is tight. Let me tell you something. The lights, the people, that's a complete different ball game. I almost shit my pants at the Wilton Theater. I've been doing comedy 26 fucking years. I went out to the Wilton Theater. I looked up. I saw all those people. I had to stop for 2 seconds, bro. My legs went out from under me. You know what I'm saying? So when you did that the other night, I went home and I slept a couple hours. And when I woke you, I called you right in the morning.
Yeah, you did.
And I go, dog, what I saw last night blew me away. It gave me hope.
Yeah, man.
Because you told a story. Ari has a big problem between a bit and a story. There's a big difference between a bit and a fucking story.
Big difference.
Big difference. And you saw it that night. A bit's great. You could do a bit and it's great. And it's probably true. What you're telling me, it's probably true. But it's not a story. There's connotations in your voice and different things in the story. And you have to take me. I have to see you.
Yeah, man.
You made me saw you on the floor. I almost fainted thinking about the booger and the red blood all on the floor while you were grobbering. Yeah. So you took me for a psychological journey. And that psychological journey was so good that it made me drive to Playa del Rey to see my brother and give him props.
You're
like
the best,
a motherfucker.
Man. You're the fucking
And I
best.
mean that from my heart. So I just wanted to draw the correlation for you. What if at 35 I get a blue belt and all of a sudden I'm walking around with tap-out gear and you're like, oh, he doesn't know.
No. And I get 100% and I obviously have a thick skin to it, and I expect it, to be honest. Even with Rogan, you, Callan, D'Elia, everyone, I get it, man. I get it, and there's I don't know what to say. I was talking last night with the owner of the Comedy Store. He goes, "Man, you sold out La Jolla already." I went, "Yeah, I have no business doing that. I'm glad I did. I have no business.
You're
doing
putting
that.
on a good product." But I got to go back to the story here. 7 years ago, Rogan taped a special somewhere. And Dana White was there. It was like on a Friday night before a UFC. And I was on stage trying to be cute. I wasn't really, in those days, I would just snort Coke. And I would think about, what am I going to say tonight? Like, I didn't put no effort into it. It was
get up there and wing
it was a 50-50. I was just a funny guy that would take a 50-50 shot. But I was on stage doing my thing. And the only thing I could see from stage, which I never look at the audience, was I saw Brendan Schaub. I'm in like row 11. And I didn't know you then. I think you had just finished The Ultimate Fighter. You were about to fight, but you weren't fighting that weekend. Mm-hmm. And I looked at your face, and you had a face, you weren't laughing, and you weren't disgusted with me. You just had a different look on. And that night on the drive home, it came back to me what that look on your face was. You were figuring it out. And I went to watch you again when you were watching Rogan. You were enthralled with it. Mm-hmm. Something was captivating you. And that made me think back to that night, what you were watching that night. You were watching us going, wow, that's pretty fucked up what they do. The same way when I watch you get in the ring against somebody, I go, that's pretty fucked up what they do. These are both arts.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck what anybody tells you.
Yep.
MMA and stand-up are both fucking arts, man. I consider you an artist just like me. And MMA, when you fight 5 or 6 times and I see the breakdown and it's Brendan going, well, you know, I'm not worried about his jiu-jitsu game because my hand is right here. That guy's going to lose because he didn't evolve between training camps.
Yeah.
He didn't go to a Muay Thai place and go, let me just learn Muay Thai. You know, even if I just take a kick out and learn how to distance my head, I won't be getting clipped. These guys don't grow. So from watching MMA, I learned what I had to do to grow in between training camps. You always got to be learning. Doesn't mean you have to be writing. You have to be experiencing different things, I think.
Different perspectives.
Different perspectives. So even though you have a great jiu-jitsu teacher in the Gracie brothers, you know what? I'm going to go hang out with Cabrinha for 3 months.
Yeah.
He trains Verdum. He's got to be doing fucking something right, okay? Yeah. He trains Verdum.
Yeah.
He's got to be doing something fucking right, okay? Yeah. Well, that's where Verdum works out. I'm not saying that he trains there. You know, if you know, I got to go back to GSP. GSP grew every time I saw him in the ring. He refused not to grow. I'm not promoting the fight with him and Bisbee. I'm just making a statement.
You don't like the fight?
No, I like the fight. I don't know what he's going to look like after 2 years.
4 years.
4 years. That's a big growth spurt. But what I'm saying is GSP was one guy that I was not surprised I was a champion. GSP taught me how to be a really good comic because GSP kept fucking growing.
Yeah.
He would stay with the Arabian dude up there in Toronto, but he would go to Henzo's. You know, he would go to that black dude in the village and kickbox.
Yep,
he would go to some wrestling camp. He would go to gymnastics.
Yeah.
You'd see him on fucking rings. What does rings have to do with kicking somebody in the fucking head? What is it hanging from rings? He became champion.
Yeah,
he always was fresh. And this is what you got to do. You got to, you know, I go to acupuncture. I fucking, you know, I go to jiu-jitsu, but I do the mobility class, the tactical fitness. Do I look like a cop to you? Do I look like I'm going to fight to you? But you got to prepare to get old. So the tactical fitness works. You got to grow in between fights.
Do you hang out with a lot of other comics? You guys bounce ideas off each other? Not really.
No. You know, we go through slumps. Creativity has slumps. That's why when your creativity fails, you have to go get entertained.
You got to mix it up.
Next time you can't write, Joey, I don't know what's going on. Shut the fuck up. Go smoke a joint. Creep into the Comedy Store. Don't let nobody see you. Don't even talk to nobody and sit in the back and watch 6 or 7 comics. Something that you wouldn't do. What would you do to get entertained? You put on Bellator on Friday. No. Yeah. No, that's not gonna.
That's not creative.
Step out. Take your wife to a play at that Gilmore fucking theater. Who gives a fuck? Yeah. Well, Joey, I don't like plays. That's not the point. The point is that you went and you experienced something else, and you're like, wow. From that experience, I could create from a different angle.
That makes sense.
It really does. And Paul Mooney told me that. One of the greatest writers of all time. He wrote for Richard Pryor. He wrote for Sanford and Son. I went up to him one day. I said, I'm in a slump. No worries.
Mix it up.
Mix it up. Go get entertained. Go do something or see something you would never think of doing. And it really taught me a lot.
That's brilliant.
You know, it really taught me a lot. So when I'm bored, listen, I shot a special. What do you think? The next week I'm like Rogan, that I'm writing like this? I was in a slump. So do I quit?
You need a break, right?
I took a week break.
Yeah.
And then I went right back to it. But I was in a slump. All my material was gone. I was sick of rehearsing it. You know, you can only throw a left jab so many fucking times before you go, let me go wrestle for a week.
Yeah, man.
And take away. And that's the same thing with MMA. I learned all that from MMA.
Yeah.
I didn't write this. I just watched all the MMA guys. When you work on your back, how many guys can't work off their back?
A lot of them, man.
That's writing. Nobody wants to sit
down. It's uncomfortable down there.
Nobody wants to sit down and write. Writing is the most fucking hardest thing in the world if you don't know how to write. If you sit there with a notebook, with a pen, But you put that notebook aside and you take another notebook and write the story of Brendan's first fight. I walked down there when I trained, I did this, and all of a sudden you're going to go, holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
So you're always working that muscle. You're always working that writing muscle. For years, I sat there like a bump on a log at Starbucks. You know, I would write one thing, and then I would jerk off for an hour. No, write. Go write.
Just go.
Just go. Bring your notebook. Today I'm going to write about when I fought fucking whatever. The training camp started July 8th. We started with calisthenics, and you just write it out.
Are you a guy that wants to put out a special, like, you know, I feel like new comics, they're doing specials like once a year, so they're back to back to back. Are you more of the old school where you once every 2 years, once every 3 years?
I want to put another one out maybe in March, and that would be, the first one I shot was in October, so it would be like 16 months, you know. When I was growing up boxing, it felt like Roberto Duran and those guys fought every 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And that was great for that time. And now you have guys in MMA. MMA is such a small window. Like, I never knew a running back's career is 3 years. I never knew that the average running back is 3 years. So
average career is 3.5.
So you come to
so
you come to me and go, you got 3.5 years to make this happen. Knock on wood, there's no meniscus tears.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, there's no shoulder tears. You have to have a plan. When you go into the UFC, you have to have a plan today. You got like a 3 window, maybe 5 fights you're gonna get. You know, if you can win all 5 of those, then you move in. You got to call your opponent out.
Yeah, man.
After the fight, you have to wish. You know,
it's
you
a
get
different
what
game
you wish
now.
for. It's a different game. So it's kind of like, I think for a while now, UFC fighters were fighting too close, but that's what you have to do.
Well, to your Duran, with me growing up, it was like Orlovsky and Tim Sylvia fought every other weekend.
Every other
They would
weekend.
fight fucking, you know, or Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz. I felt like they were fighting every other month, literally every other month. But now the champions fight maybe twice a year if you're lucky. Maybe a big one once a year. Then, you know, there's active guys like Cowboy and these other dudes who, an active guys fighting 4 times a year. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
That's crazy. I think Cowboy's too active, but I think he'll slow down now.
He's slowing down now. He's taking a break.
to.
He was out at On It with Aubrey. I was talking to Aubrey. I've known Cowboy forever, and I told Aubrey, because he'll listen to Aubrey. You know, Cowboy doesn't listen to a lot of people. I said, you have to get through to him that being this company man, being the cowboy, and taking whoever, whenever, that it's fun. It built his name, but you get to a certain point where you're ranked in the top 3, top 5, and you have a shot to taste that gold. Well, that's a difference maker in your life.
Yep.
You chill out, man. Like, I didn't think the Masvidal fight was smart for him.
No,
especially after beating Matt Brown. And
and at home,
people forget.
No, I didn't like
people
that whole
forget,
thing.
man. No, I didn't like it. And for Cowboy, he lives and dies off that cowboy persona, and I get that, and that's made you your career. But at a certain point, being best friends with Dana White, or, you know, that relationship, and they go, oh, Cowboy would do it. Well, no, man, because Cowboy wants to fight every fucking day. And if you're best friends with Dana White, he's going to want you to fight all the time, and everyone's making money. It's all good. But if you want to be world champion, make that purse that's going to change your life, you can't be that guy, man.
It's like I do Irvine every week. It's like if I did Irvine every Sunday night, eventually it's the law of diminishing returns.
Yeah, people are like, yeah, we're good. We got
good.
it, man.
We could fight. We could plan. You know, I remember years ago, somebody fell out against Chael, and everybody gave
John Jones?
Yeah, and John Jones. Everybody gave John Jones a hard time for not
Big time
taking
in
the
Canada,
fight.
yeah.
And I remember going, I wouldn't have taken that fight. You're on a plan. You have a plan. Once you throw me off that plan, that's when I lose.
Yeah.
I have a plan.
He has a legacy to defend.
Yeah, you have a plan.
We hear about Fedor with Bellator, Mitrione. They didn't know till 3 hours before the fight card started that Matt couldn't fight. The commission pulled him because of kidney stones. He's supposed to fight Fedor. They went to Fedor and went, so Chael Sonnen will fight you on 3 hours' notice. T. Ortiz is here. King Mo will fight you. What do you think? He goes, I'm not doing that. On 3 hours' notice? What's wrong with you? I'm Fedor. I'm pound for pound one of the greatest of all time. You're not throwing me a curveball. And also in my contract, I have a legacy to defend, but also in my contract, I only get paid if I fight Matt Mitrione. Win, lose, or draw, the fight doesn't happen, I still get paid. I fight these other guys, it's a different payday. So you're talking about a vet, and he was like, I'm good. He's like, we'll do it in June. He's like, I'm not doing that bullshit.
No,
you're going to mix up 3 hours before? Think how that worked out for Kimbo Slice. Remember, he was supposed to fight Ken Shamrock, and they came to him. Boss was on the show yesterday talking about this. They came to him, and they go, So Ken Shamrock's out. He got cut in the locker room. We got this other guy, Seth Petrozzulli, and Kimbo's cornerman with his boss and his manager, Icy Mike, went, the only way we're doing that is we need $1 million. Like, you want to save the card? This is like, an hour before the main event. You want to save the card? We need $1 million.
You got it?
You got it.
Damn.
Because that's how you do it. Because it's such a risk. And look, luckily, Kimbo bounced back from that, had a great career, but it's such a risk, man. Seth Petrozzulli, a skilled assassin striker, versus a guy like Kimbo, that's a terrible idea. But at least you got paid $1 million, especially back then. That's a big fucking deal.
That's a big payday.
But it's brilliant,
you have to watch
man.
your career, and you have to watch what you do, where you go.
It's
one
everything.
year I found myself in Ohio 3 times in a month and a half. I'm like, who booked this? Who booked this? But you don't pay attention as you're booking.
Yeah, man.
I took Cleveland, Toledo, and Columbus. I'm like, maybe they're 8 hours apart. People are like, man, we went to see you last week. God damn it. I stayed out of Ohio for a fucking year and a half. Like, that's it. They don't need to see me. You know what I'm saying? So I watch. I play it out. I don't go to the same clubs every year. I play it out 18 months, 2 years, And when I sold them that concept, they were like, that's not going to work. Then Ron White went over to CAA and go, bitch, I don't do nothing except every 16 months like I told you.
Really?
Yeah, that's the
And Ron
way.
White's a savage.
Listen, bro, there's a plan. They have a plan, and you got to have a plan. If you fall for their plan, guess what? If it doesn't work for you, you're going to be in and out of that machine in 3.5 years.
Agreed.
Then you're going to carry your luggage for the rest of your life when you're 50 to these fucking towns.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I got an out plan. I got an in plan. It's my motherfucking world.
Mm-hmm.
And I do 2 weeks a month. I work on this. I'm trying to write a book. So all this shit takes time. I enjoy doing the road. I still have my 4. When I'm in town, I still do 4 sets a week.
Yeah, you're always...
I have a goal to do. I do 1 up in the valley, and then I'll do like 2 on Tuesday, 2 on Thursday, and 1 on Saturday.
Damn.
So that's 5, and I'm done for the week.
Yeah.
So I never burn out. And I learned that from a guy named Joe Rogan. Mm-hmm. Because when we were coming up, they put you on the road every week. They don't give a fuck. You're out there with the same jokes and material. What saved Joe was he had Fear Factor, and he had news radio. So he had that money. So he didn't have to whore himself out every week. He could go out whenever he wanted to, pick his dates. If you don't want to pay me, then you ain't going to see me because I got a job here.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's how you do it. So you got to say no from time to time to keep them on their fucking
you
toes.
have to, man. You can't
Every
whore
once in a
yourself
while,
out.
you got to call them up and go, I got a movie, bitch.
Yeah.
It ain't happening next week.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You got to keep them on their toes and know that you don't fuck around. Anything can happen in my world at any time, know?
Yeah, I think you have to be the captain of your own ship. A lot of guys just leave it to them.
No.
It's like they know it from a business standpoint, but they don't know it from a comic standpoint or a talent standpoint. Knowing, like, how many comic shows have you seen? I talk to other comics. You can't just keep going back to that same well. It's going to dry
And what
up.
works for GSP may not work for Brendan Schaub, and what works for Brendan Schaub may not work for GSP.
Yeah, it's a great point. And, this is why probably a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago probably, when people went, what's next for Conor? And I went, Floyd Mayweather. They went, why? Because I put myself in his shoes. I went, what would I do? And if I'm his manager thinking of complete business perspective here, what would I do? Floyd Mayweather. I got nothing to lose. I'll make more money than God. The promotion and publicity I get out that I'll be the biggest UFC fighter of all time. It's going to involve the entire boxing community, the entire MMA community. If somehow we can cross-pollinate all this, and I'm fighting a 145-pound man who's really not going to knock me out, even if I can just last 12 rounds, even if I get outclassed, but it goes 12 rounds, it's a no-brainer for me. Or the opposite of that is I fight Khabib or I fight Tony Ferguson, these killers, make 20% of the money I'd make fighting Floyd Mayweather. There's going to be way more damage involved. It's not going to be as publicly as big either. So I just put myself in the shoes on it. It's Floyd Mayweather, man. It's a no-brainer.
He's another guy that I'm learning from. If you're not taking notes on the Conor McGregor School of Business, you're slipping right now, whether you like him or not.
Yeah.
You're slipping right now. He's doing it. He's calling his shots. He's disrupting fucking world belts. He's disrupt. Nobody can do nothing. Everybody's locked up.
Even
at
Dana
145.
Dana don't know what to do.
No, 155 and 170. Everybody's locked up. He's going to fight Mayweather. He might come back and fight Nate. He's definitely going to go for the 170 title. He started that in New York. I showed you the video.
Yep.
He won now.
Yep.
Now he's still, he's got the 145 and 155. What's he going to do, lurk down there with mosquitoes? He's already been down there.
Done.
He's going to 170. And that's just going. But every one of his moves are so thought out.
And calculated.
And that's a businessman. And that applies to anything. A musician, a plumber, a fucking builder. That same train of thought applies to a lot of things.
But with him, Joey, don't you think, and you're the same way, and Rogan's the same way, and I always say this, but you have to get to that point, it's knowing your worth. Like Conor McGregor, he knows if he did a press conference, did you notice he did a press conference in a fucking stadium that's sold out? And some of the tickets were $2,500, and it's just a Q&A with him talking shit about
with
Floyd.
The suit on?
Yes.
The black suit on?
In Ireland, he did sold out stadium fucking press conference. So he knows his worth, and he can talk all this shit to Dana and the UFC and go, this is what I'm doing, fuck you, this is what I'm doing. If you don't like it, get the fuck out of my way. And I love it because he knows his worth. Same thing with you. Like, I'm not going to fucking Ohio. Eat this dick. I'm not doing that.
I've been there.
Rogan, I'm not going to Vegas. Fuck Vegas. But you guys, you're in the position where you can do that, where they're like, fuck, we need him, man. So, all right, let him do his thing. But for a lot of guys, they can't do that. Like a lot of UFC fighters, if Dana says jump, you got to say, how high, boss? Because they're just not there yet. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you guys know your worth. And I always say that, know your worth, but at the same time, you have to get to a certain level before you can make those demands. It's a fine line. Does that make sense?
You have to make those decisions to get to the next level. But there always is decisions that you have to say, I'm not going to do to get to that next level.
No matter what.
Years ago, after that writer's strike, I wouldn't get calls for TV and movies. Guess what I got calls for? YouTube projects.
Yeah.
For 2 years, everybody I met for lunch, we have this YouTube project. And one day I said, come on, dudes. Do I look like a YouTube type of motherfucker? To fuck around, yeah, but not to do projects on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I stopped. And the phone kept ringing and prices kept going up for these YouTube web series. And I said no. And 2 days later, I got Grudge Match. The movie bombed. It didn't matter. The state of mind was what mattered. I decided what was going to do. It's like I've been pitching a show lately. And I looked at the writers the other day and I go, you guys did a great job. And I want you to know my fucking attitude. I'm not going in there to sell a show. I'm going in there to let these motherfuckers justify their existence.
Yeah.
However you go, there's different levels where you make the decision of what and what's not going to happen. Listen, man, you have to be a star to tell comedy clubs you're not working on a fucking Sunday. And I decided in ask Rogan. Ask Rogan. See if Rogan works Sundays. Go ahead, call him up. Go, Joe, why don't you work Sundays? Because Diaz straightened me the fuck out on Sundays.
Really?
You goddamn right. You're goddamn right. There's
no
reason to work a Sunday.
Yeah.
To sit in your hotel room all day without your family and then take a plane Monday morning, which is going to be fucking delayed, to do a show for 200 people that usually don't go to comedy clubs, and the show's over at 9. So now you missed the red eye by a fucking pubic hair. You missed the red eye to L.A. by a pubic hair. So now you got to land in L.A. Monday morning on the 405 at 11. Your day is shot by the time you get home. So fuck you.
Yeah, for what?
I decided in 1998. In 2000, before The Longest Yard, I was giving up weeks. Like people would say Wednesday through Sunday, and I go, I don't do Sundays. Joey, then you can't work here. Fine. And I would hang up the phone. And that happened for years. I remember telling Joe, I would leave Joe in cities. Call him up and ask him.
No, I'm out.
Call him up and ask him. That I would tell him before we went down there, oh, by the way, Sunday morning it's you and Ari. What do you mean, Joey? You're supposed to. I don't work Sundays. I told you that a long fucking time ago. Don't even involve me on a Sunday. Because before I became a comic, I'm a man.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, you got to eat dinner with your family on Sundays. If not, you're not going to have a fucking family. And I've seen it at that. I could sit here and rattle off comics' names that don't have a family because they want to work on fucking Sundays. And that's where decisions you make.
Yeah, that's the balance.
Because listen, man, no matter what the fuck you do, and this is the way I thought when I was a criminal, you're always playing. Listen, my favorite game that I ever bet in my life, you were a kid, but one of the biggest games I ever bet in high school. I put everything I had. I borrowed money. I bet money I didn't have. Dallas Cowboys played the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC and Division Finals. The 49ers were 16-1. I know that there's a lot of people that are football people out there, and you're like, Joey, you're wrong. Maybe they lost one game. Who did San Francisco lose to when Snowy Joey was throwing every year? New Orleans would always beat the fuck out of them at home or away. When San Francisco was on the top of their game, they could not beat the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints beat them. They go into the NFC playoff with the Cowboys. Guess what? I'm at a fucking bar doing blow. I'm 18 years old, and it dawned on me at this bar. I go, wait a second. What you mean to tell me is that the Dallas Cowboys are going into Candlestick, and they're going to try to tell Snowy Joey and those fucking savages a story. That's when they had Dwight, the nickel.
Snowy Joey.
That's when they had that nickel fucking defense with Ron Lott, who his finger was broken. And they asked him at halftime, and he cut it off.
Yeah.
You're dealing with people who would cut off their fucking pinkies. Are you Japanese?
I'm Korean.
Okay. Japanese people, they cut their fucking pinkies off.
Yeah.
Like when they fuck up, you fucked up. You
Dishonored.
Dishonor. They cut their pinky off. A brother cut his pinky off during a fucking game. And you're going to look me in the face and tell me that the Dallas Cowboys are going to go into their field and beat them by 1. And I remember there was a kid who hated me. He's dead now, Anthony Kruger.
He died?
Yeah, he accused me of robbing his house, an 8-ball from his house. I never robbed him. Fuck him. Fuck him. I don't give a fuck.
He's dead, bro.
He's dead. Fuck him. Let him roast in hell for selling blow.
Man.
So he was a big Cowboy fan. And he kept trying to, he was a tough kid. And he kept going, what if the Cowboys win? Can I beat the fuck out of you? And this kid it's like Brendan saying this to me. And I
want to beat you up?
Oh, he hated me, but he couldn't touch me because I had juice behind me in those days.
Yeah.
He couldn't just come and throw a beating on me because he had 16 motherfuckers behind. So I said to him, let me ask you, this is how fucked up I was. I go, let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. What if San Francisco beats them? Can I come to your house and punch you in the fucking face? That's how ballsy I was that night. Because right there it dawned on me that San Francisco was going to beat the Cowboys at home. They were not going to go in there and cover 1. And what happened that game? That's the most famous catch in football.
Yeah.
Dwight Clark reached out, and I had the over.
Catch.
And I had the over in Dallas.
Son?
What's up, son?
So then you go punch that dude in the face?
Oh, no. I didn't see him after that for a long time. Yeah.
You were good.
I saw him at the hospital one time years later. He
You want to hear a bummer? Is Dwight Clark just came out?
got cancer, yeah.
Brain trauma.
When I lived, well, what did you expect?
Parkinson's.
That dude went through trucks.
Yeah.
That dude went through fucking trucks. I remember I was living in San Francisco. I was on the Lam. They were looking for me in Boulder for credit card shit. And I'm living in the Tenderloin. I'm living with fucking...
It's a rough area still.
This is 85 when the worst violence I had ever seen in my life. I saw a guy get sliced open. I saw another guy in front of Original Joe's in the Tenderloin with brown blood coming out of him.
Damn.
There was a fucking dude from Cuba because Cuban refugees had just come from Mariel Harbor, and they owned the street, and they had what bugarrongs. A bugarrong is a guy that has gay boyfriends, but they just suck his dick. They don't fuck him in the ass. He fucks him in the ass.
But he's not gay. He says
he's not gay.
gay.
It's a jailhouse thing in Cuba, and he puts wigs on him and shit.
What do you think, Joey? Is that gay or no?
Well, no, this is the Cuban mentality. Like, they suck my dick, and I fuck them in the ass.
Yeah, I'm not.
So I'm a man. So this guy was a Cuban coke dealer, and he had 2 of these gay guys as his assistants. And he would suck their, and he was a family man. He had kids at the house in the daytime.
What?
He hung out with these 2 guys with wigs and a day-old beard. And if they fucked up, he would just backhand them and shit in the street, and their wig would fall off. You know that fucking dude, Richie Ramirez, that killed people?
Yeah.
The night stalker?
Yeah.
Richard Ramirez.
I went to buy a nickel bag in the Tenderloin, and the FBI came in and goes, you got to get out of here. The FBI was waiting for him. That's where he stayed.
Damn.
When he would stay in, the Tenderloin was badass.
It's still rough today. Not like back then, but still
no, but
rough.
they have a Tad Steakhouse. They used to be big in New York. Now it's like eating a fucking scab off a fucking terrorist's foot or something. But Tad's Steakhouse was good. And across the street there was a gym, and I would go to that gym in '85. And Dwight Clark used to work out there. And I remember I hugged him one day, and I go, "Dog, you covered the spread for Uncle Joey big." He goes,
Joey.
"Not just for Uncle Joey, for everybody."
I love that.
For everybody.
For everybody, bro. Don't you fucking forget it.
I go, they were going to, and I started yelling at this gym. They were going to come in there and beat you. They got to suck my dick.
Did he love it?
Oh, he loved it. He goes, I thought the same thing. The bookmakers do nothing.
Legend, man.
Legend fucking pick. But that's when I decided. I'm like, wait a second, that's just like life. You ain't going to come into my motherfucking stadium and tell me what time is crack-a-lackin' now.
Yeah.
And I decided that when I was like 22. I'm like, that's it. It's over.
That's the right attitude, though, isn't it?
You're not coming into my stadium. My rules are my rules. It's like texting.
Yeah.
You can text me till you're green. I ain't going to answer you back.
Dude,
I will not answer you back. I will not answer.
I'll
and I
text
laugh
him, you
at
call,
people.
yeah.
I'll call you, and then after that, I won't call you no more.
I love it, man.
Until I've gone to Sprint, and they found missing texts, and I feel like calling the people and go, "You can't be that stupid that you text me 8 times but never called me. You should deserve.
Yeah, that is weird.
You should die.
Yeah.
You're worthless. You text me till the end. You text me to the fucking end."
Joey, what do you think about how the UFC is doing? Like since they got bought out by WME, and you see that now, like a guy like Yoel Romero, who's ranked number 1, but he's not getting a title shot. You see a guy like Damian Maia at the welterweight division, who they're not these draws. So now that the UFC has this big nut, and they have to kind of, you see fights happening that are kind of out of character. You got GSP, Bisping, you got these random ass fights where you're like, what is this coming from, man? But it's because they have to get sales and put these pay-per-views on. So these guys like a Yoel Romero, Damian Maia, who should probably be fighting for the title, they don't get their shots. And again, we talked about this as a businessman. If I'm Dana, I'm the UFC, I don't know if I do anything different. But as a fan, I'm like, dude, this is fucked up, man.
What is a fighter?
As a fighter, it's fucked up.
Okay. I think
for guys like Yoel Romero, for a guy like Bisping, it's the best case scenario. You're fighting GSP instead of Yoel Romero. So I see it both ways.
I got 2 ways. Again, I take it back to comedy.
Yeah.
You broke all your life. You know, who gets the title? You know what I'm saying? Who does it? I love Michael Bisping. I mean, he's really worked. I mean, listen, and I don't say this, I knew he was going to knock out Luke Rockhold.
Oh, yeah?
I knew it. I knew it was just too easy. Luke was walking around like Johnny Bananas. I knew it. I had a feeling that kid's got heart. He lost an eye for the UFC. I mean, he's a real Vietnam
Legit
vet.
lost an eye.
He's a real Vietnam vet. I mean, this ain't no okey doke motherfucker.
No, his eyes
that
fucked.
went and his knee was bad and they shipped him back.
No.
He's a fucking. He got knocked out by Dan Henderson brutally.
Vitor Belfort wheel kicked him.
No, I'm talking about the English kid.
Yeah, Bisping. Yeah, Vitor's the one that fucked his eye up. Spinning heel kick fucked his eye up.
Oh, I thought Vitor hit the other guy too.
He hit Rockhold, both of them.
Fucking both testosterone kicks to the head.
Yeah,
and
you're
shit.
talking about TRT Vitor. That's a motherfucker.
TRT. You know, so before we get on TRT Vitor, I like Michael Bisping, and he's been a fighter for a long time. He's got 2 kids.
Yeah,
he's a really good dad.
Super dad.
He's a really good guy. Why can't he have a payday?
I agree.
Okay. I love Yoel Romero and what he's done. He's a fellow Cuban. He's a bad motherfucker.
That's right.
Yoel's got 2 choices. Fight somebody. Fight Jacare. Let's make an entertainment fight. Let's make an entertaining. Oh, he already fought Jacare. What am I saying? Or just sit back and wait.
Just wait
for
his
the
turn.
result. Just wait your turn.
Then you don't get a payday, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yoel will get a payday when his time is right. All these fighters will get a payday when the time is right, if they do the right work, and if they talk.
Play it the right way.
You got to talk now.
Yoel's not a talker, though, is he?
You don't understand him. You think he's saying Jesus, and he's saying
gay
fucking,
Jesus.
Gay Jesus. So you can't. People always told me to call Miami and become his translator. You know, just become, you know, there's a lot of fun. Look at the 155 division. What do you do right now? What do you do in the 155 division? Who's that poor fucking Kukui going to fight? We can't count on Khabib no more. Khabib's got to have to go 185.
170, bro, not 85.
Well, 170.
Yeah, I was like, God damn.
He has to go 170 now.
Then you. But the thing is, you have to do that fight. Like, we just can't. The public's just not going to forget about that fight.
Well,
like, that's the best.
We should have
2
redone it in
155ers.
Buffalo.
What'd you say?
We should have redone it April 8th in Buffalo.
I don't think Khabib's body was ready for it. I think that, well, it's probably too late. I was going to say put him on that Dallas card, that super Dallas card already.
Nah, the Dallas card is already super stacked. So why are we got to find that fight?
But you do it at 55 or do it at a catch weight? So Khabib makes weight. Or you just get Khabib a proper fucking
we have rules. There's 155 for a reason. There's no catch weights.
Yeah.
You have to get to 155 or
kick
sit
rocks
and get on the
70.
ball and go to 170.
Yep.
And that's what Khabib's going to have to do. I love El Kukui. I think he's a horrible fight for Conor McGregor. Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith is Aerosmith. What's Guns N' Roses? Aerosmith on steroids. El Cucuy is Nate Diaz, just a more refined. Nate's the young one.
Yeah, Nate's
and
the
he's
young
long.
One. Yeah, he's long.
And he's long. And
Phenomenal
I don't think they want that in their world. As a businessman,
it's
they
a
don't
tough
want
fight
that
for
in
Connor.
their world. You know, there's a scene
in
in Rocky where the guy goes, "What about this guy? He's no good for you. He's a southpaw."
Yeah.
You know, and that's why you hire a manager.
Yep.
And even though as a fighter, you're like, I could beat fucking Diaz up any day. You know what, dog? Like I said about Khabib that time at the Rogan podcast with you, does Dana White want him against Khabib? It's a great fight, him and McGregor. And two things could happen. Yeah, McGregor could hit him with 2 lefts and he'll go down. But what if?
What if he just wrestled like a motherfucker?
What if he picks him
rounds?
up?
Yeah.
What if he picks him up
Apologizing.
and thinks of all the suffering the Muslims have done the last 2,000 years and slams this poor Irishman on his
Breaks
head?
his neck.
There's no more. He's just going to squeeze a ball and you know.
But then your cash cow's it's gone.
So that cash cow's got to be protected right now until we figure out another 2 cash cows. And we got cash cows in the pipe.
Like who?
We have
Name
a ton of cash cow that's in the pipe.
Like who, brother?
Okay. If Stephen Thompson would have beat
He
Tyrone,
didn't, though.
I know.
And it was a terrible fight.
It was a terrible fight, but if he would have, he had all the makings for a cash cow. Kobe Gebhardt has got all the makings for a cash cow.
Cody, yeah.
Mickey Gall. These kids.
Wow, Mickey Gall. That's
He's
a bit
beautiful
of a stretch,
kid.
brother.
He's a beautiful kid.
I know, but he's not up there with
I didn't
Cody
say he was
Garbrandt.
up there. I didn't say that.
You're
I
saying
said
the future.
The making.
I
He's a
can
young
flex with
kid.
that.
He's 21,
Looks
22.
good, has the skills.
Looks good, calls people out, giggles.
Yeah.
You know, and he's got the main color to attract the green.
Yep.
Which is right here. That's
Yeah.
the color that attracts the green. If you go to a UFC card December 39th, they don't have 2 Brazilians headlining. That'll never happen because it's a different Gentile audience.
Why do you think that is? Like,
Because it's a different Gentile audience. I've sat in the audience on the 29th, and I've sat in the audience July 4th. July 4th is savages like me. Fuck you! Suck my dick! December 29th, it's the 4 people that sit together. They all have designer shirts on. All the wives have fake breasts, and one of them is a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. So he's a badass. So when they're watching the fight, they all look at him, and he's like, that's an underhook. And they're like, wow, you're so knowledgeable. And he just sits there and they drink red wine and they've already made reservations for La Mulalita. You know, these are the motherfuckers that shell out the 800.
So you're not seeing a Woodley John Jones on that?
No, you're not seeing no fucking Soul Train. You got to see fucking. That's the color. Yeah. That's why Captain America against Chuck Liddell. They would do that every year on the 30th if they could. Both of them would come out 90 years old. They would do Captain America against Chuck Liddell every December 30th because it's a different tone of the game. It's a different ticket.
Why do you think Woodley doesn't? Yeah, do you think? And I guess he had some actual evidence. He's saying that the UFC's racist towards him. They don't market the African American fighters because he was like, I don't understand. Like I put on great fights and stuff like that.
Listen, it's
you think that has any weight
as
behind
an American, as an immigrant, you get sick and tired of excuses. I get sick and tired of fucking excuses. But watch when Woodley beats this kid the last fight when they were putting the belt around him.
Oh, when he beat Thompson,
he was walking out of the ring. Didn't even give him the respect. You know, it's like when
Dana talked shit about him in the post-fight conference.
It's when Conor McGregor got beat by Diaz. Look at Dana White's face. Do you remember? Go get all that footage. Do you remember when fucking the Mexican beat the fuck out of Brock Lesnar, and he had to put that belt around that Mexican's waist? He didn't like that.
What about Amanda Nunes when she beat the brakes off Ronda?
Yeah, he didn't like that either. There's things he just don't like because my baffle right now with the UFC is Amanda Nunes is a badass bitch, but she's also a lesbian. And we've never discussed it. We've never sold it to the LGBTQ community. Not one mention. Do you know when
how's she not a face of
Carmouche?
How do you not go down fucking Hollywood right now and you go to the gay district down in Santa Monica? How is she not plastered everywhere?
Wake them up and say, this is what LGBT community is really doing. This is what we're doing. Represent, come to the fight. They might think it's violent, but this is a woman who fucking can't even speak the language. She's happy. She punches like a man.
Came from nothing.
Met
her partner. They start off as training partners involved in this beautiful fucking love story.
Not one mention. They don't attack the biggest thing we could attack right now.
It's everywhere.
It's marketing. It's pride. You know, that's real gay pride. You jumping down Santa Monica with a dick and ha 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 ha. You know what I'm saying? Dancing to salsa music. You don't do dick for me.
No.
But when I see fucking a chick knocking some ass, I go, you know what?
Yeah,
that's
man.
a feather in their community. This is what they've been working for, acceptance.
There's no mention. There's no outreach. And even let's say you don't even agree with it. Just as from a business perspective, there's tons of money.
Tons of money. It's an envelope and a half. It's an envelope and a half. I'd show up with the something, but not a mention. And Tyrone Woodley, I got to tell you, when he first won, he made a statement that he wanted his fight, and it was like they didn't even listen to him. Like
they didn't entertain it. He wanted Diaz, he wanted GSP, he wanted anything but Wonder Boy because it's not a big draw.
So, you know, and then like you said, that last fight with Tyrone Woodley, who I love, powerful, lightning fast. The last fight. I think they both, in the back of their head, knew Conor McGregor could be in the picture and they could get a payday, and both of them played it safe.
Super safe.
Instead of going out there and swinging for the fences and making your point. You want to talk to Dana and go, this is my fight? You got to knock out 3 people in the first round. And then go, Dana.
You got to take it.
You got to take it.
You got to take it, to your point, just like you said.
Miocic.
Yeah.
Fucking went bananas. He knocked them out. Proof is in the fucking pudding.
Undeniable.
Proof is in the pudding. You want that cash fight? You want the attention you deserve? You got to come clean and then point at Dana and go, come on, let's do this shit. Here I am, bitch, and curse at him.
Yep.
Say something. Come on, you fuck. Get him going a little bit. And that's how you get your fights. How Mickey Gall got that kid.
Sage Northcutt.
You have to. Sage, I think Sage Northcutt, he lost his last fight, did he not?
To Mickey Gall.
Did he?
Yeah.
Right. He lost.
Mickey Gall beat him.
I think Sage is another kid that's got great potential in the future.
He has a lot of work to do, yeah.
They all have a lot. We all have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
But you get into a little niche and you become Conor McGregor.
The only problem with the UFC is there's not a lot of you're not gonna, to back your point of comedy, you're not gonna be able to do a lot of open mics. You're not gonna get a lot of fights that are geared for you. You know, like it's survival of the fittest. Especially for a guy like Sage Northcutt or a guy like Mickey Gall now. So you've got CM Punk, which is the easiest fight he's ever going to get in his career in the UFC. And then he fought Sage Northcutt. He looked great. Well, now you're off to the dogs.
Now you're off to the
dogs.
Now you're with the big boys.
And those motherfuckers want to eat too. So now, there's really, it's a tough world, man.
No, and
there's no warm-ups.
And I don't look at, what's his name lost to Diaz. And he became bigger than ever.
Conor?
The first time.
Yeah.
There's no humiliation and loss. It's what you do afterward and really sell yourself. It's a selling game. Listen, I was always a funny guy, okay? I've always been a basically funny guy. It wasn't until I incorporated Facebook and the podcast and Twitter and the periscopes and just sitting down and writing. And it took years of trial and error. These fighters, it takes them years of trial and error, and they get to a certain place. Say what you want. The only fight of Conor's that I didn't like that was given to him was Dennis Siver. I was busy?
That was brutal.
I was busy that week. You know what I'm saying? You might have just fight me.
Yeah,
Dennis Siver.
Brutal.
But, bro, he beat up Holloway, who's becoming a fucking savage.
Fuck yes.
He beat up Dustin Poirier, who's becoming a fucking savage in his own.
He did Eddie Alvarez.
He's going to fight Eddie Alvarez now, right?
No, he already knocked Eddie Alvarez out.
He did?
Yeah.
Fuck, I got to
First
stop
round.
smoking pot.
Ridiculous. Oh, you didn't see that?
Who?
Conor McGregor.
Oh, no, I know that one. Now Alvarez is going to fight
Poirier. You're saying
Dustin Poirier. Yes,
now they're going to fight
Yeah.
together. He fought some great guys that you can't deny, but then he lost to Diaz. Nobody gave up on him. He said the right word.
He had nothing to lose, though, because he was a bigger
lose.
guy, 70. Like, all right. He looked really good in the first round. He's never fought there. He kind of gassed out, thought he was going to knock him out, and then Diaz went to work. I think the money fight, after what I would do if I was Conor, after I fight Floyd Mayweather, whatever happens with that, and I'd take a shitload of time off, then I'd do one huge fight at 55 against Nate Diaz, then ride off in the sunset. I'm out. Ferguson, Khabib, I'm out. That's what I do.
No, there's no reason to get dirty.
You do the trilogy with Nate Diaz for the belt at 55. Nate wants that. It's the only fight Nate wants. Think how big of a pay-per-view that'd be. I'm like, I'm good, man. You want me to fight Tony Ferguson, who I love Tony as much as you do, not a draw. You want to fight Khabib? Fuck off. For what? It does nothing for my brand. No one knows who he is walking the streets in the States. I don't give a fuck.
You're right.
That's exactly what I do.
You were talking about, I go to the gym a lot. I try to do as much shit as I can. I drink a protein shake for breakfast. I'm like, man, I can't. I'm losing weight, but something's not right. I watched that last card with Vito Belfort and the other guy, no TRT, and I'm like, I don't feel
Kelvin
that fucking
Gastelum?
bad. Because if Vito works out like a savage, he can't burn that little belly fat. I'm in no danger.
You're good, brother. You're good.
Him and the other guy, his body changed completely. The guy that won, the other guy, that Shogun Rua.
Oh, Shogun, yeah.
Their bodies changed.
Power dad bods.
Completely.
Yeah, man.
I didn't know testosterone did that. Like, I learned a big lesson that.
Well, especially at the level they're taking it, though. I mean, Vitor Belfort once got caught. That's when those TRT exemptions, everyone was getting them as the Wild Wild West for a little bit. Like, everyone was getting them. And then they tested Vitor like, bro, you're at 14,000 above normal. Like, we can't have you wheel kicking fucking people in the face, knocking eyes off. Like, we got to stop this shit.
Didn't Nate Marquardt show up one time? The needle melted. Like they went to take blood out and smoke came out and shit. They said he was on fire.
Yeah. Nate used to watch like Rick's Story in Pittsburgh. And they're like, you mind if we just get a couple samples here? And they're like, God, dog. It's like fucking Mr. Olympia over here. We can't have
how many
this.
shots do you have to do a week to get your TRT to 40,000? Like,
I have no
Vito.
idea what they're doing. They're doing one in the neck, one in the ass, fucking gels.
When I got my knee surgery, all those morons told me to go on TRT, that it would help me recover. I got rushed to the hospital one night. I was making too many red blood cells. And here's the funny fucking thing. All right? The doctor that was giving it to me is a great doctor, real knowledgeable.
They're giving you testosterone
just a little
shots.
Shot once a week, a little bit
in the ass, in the leg, or something?
my ass. And nothing was really happening. Like, nothing. Like, I was working out and shit, but nothing, I still had the same heart on. It
You didn't look like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, nothing was happening. But I kept having this fucking pain in my neck. And I told my acupuncturist, I go, you know what? I've been taking testosterone. She goes, I don't know why the fuck you do that shit. She goes, that shit's the essence of cancer. And number two, it don't work on Cubans. I go, what the fuck are you talking about?
Cuban.
She goes, it don't work on fucking Cubans. She goes, first of all, you asshole, you knocked your wife up at 50. You don't need any testosterone. So I was in the Washington Improv, and I kept having a headache, and I popped like 4 leaves. Nothing happened. And I just went to the hospital in the morning, and they said, when you get back to L.A., if you want, we could do it. We got to drain a fucking pint of blood.
Your blood's too thick?
It was too thick. It was like Caro. It was too many red blood cells. I was getting headaches and shit. So I let them take out like 4 ounces, the most I could without passing out. And then I came back and I cut a deal with the American Cancer Society, whatever, the lung where you go give blood.
Yeah.
But then I pulled it out like after 10 minutes. I can't do that for that long.
Fuck.
So then I just went and read up and took these supplements, and that was the end of it. And I'll never forget going back. The testosterone doctor called me up one day, and he goes, where the fuck you been? Because we became friends. And I go, Doc, let me tell you what happened. I didn't want to call you. I was embarrassed. I had a lot of red blood cells, and I was getting headaches. And he goes, He goes, in 40 years of shooting testosterone, this has only happened to 2 people, and both of you are Cuban.
What
I
the
swear to God.
fuck?
Yep. He goes, I
Really?
swear to God. But then you have Yoel and fucking...
Yoel's like, I'll try it.
Yeah, he eats the bottle. He just eats the fucking bottle, yo. But he looks great. They're testing him now.
He looks
He looks great.
Like a
That's
monster.
that dog. Listen, those Cubans.
Genetics, man.
Listen,
Especially
all those,
national wrestling team, like he's a freak.
dog. But those Cubans, remember, they have that African blood. The Africans went there as slaves.
The slave trade,
Like,
yeah.
if you look at my sister, she's fucking dark.
Really?
Yeah, we all. It's like I got a cat. I got 2 cats. Finny, Dimmy, and Harry. They're brothers. If you look at Dimmy, he's a Siamese. You look at Harry, he's a Siamese, but he's got leopard colors to him. Because every 6 generations, that leopard comes out. It's the same in my family. Like, if you look at my uncle, he's blacker than black. If you look at my cousins, the band in Cuba, my cousin, the female, is dark skinned, but her brother is me.
Weird.
So that African blood keeps coming up. He's got
You
that.
get some freaks.
Bro, he's got that. If you look at different African Americans, you could tell what tribe they came from. Like Dave Winfield and John Jones's tribe was tight. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Dave Winfield.
Yeah, Dave
It's a great
Winfield. Dave
reference.
Winfield was 6'6", built. I saw him at breakfast one day.
too. I saw him in the airport.
Yeah, that dude didn't need to lift weights.
No,
all he
built
needed
like
to
a
do was
brick
eat like a
shithouse.
steak, and
Yeah.
and then you have the
Jack.
other tribe, Earl Campbell, and fucking
Jim Brown tribe.
Jim
son.
Brown tribe, like they were like in Nigeria somewhere. You could actually break down the strength. Yo Romero and Earl Campbell are cousins. They came from like the same tribe, the thick legs and shit.
Blowout asses.
They all like you could see, and that's what happened in Cuba. Those good athletes, and I think that like I'm scared to send in the Ancestry.com thing. Like I've been thinking about sending it in, but I know they're gonna come back with like fucking my cousin was Kunta Kinte, and I'm gonna have a heart attack and shit. But I know it going in. You know what I'm saying? Like there's this Cuban family in Pasadena, and I go up there for the holidays, and I'll bring like Afro-Cuban music, and when I put it on, they lose their mind. You gotta get it off. You gotta get it off because they know they're black. They just don't want to be reminded. They don't know. They don't want to be reminded and shit. They get insulted. Me, I know it's in there somewhere. So I put it on and let the fucking music do the talk.
Oh man, how long do I have you, brother? We gotta get you out of here.
No, I got. You
good?
Time. Yeah.
As far as you're talking about at the Comedy Store, places to eat. I feel like you know the best joints all around LA, man. As far as you're talking about some Italian joint off of
Sunset.
Yeah.
Gaucho.
Yeah, is that what it's called? I think so. You're telling me to go there.
No. Gibos is something like Chibos is on Gardner across from Justin Fortune's gym. And when I used to work at Justin Fortune's gym, they would go across the street and get carbs. Go to Chibo and get the mama.
So you'd box and walk across there? You'd box with Justin Fortune?
Yeah, and the guy that died, Naka Foley, he was the best guy in the world. You know, when I hit the bag, I still think of Naka.
Really?
Because he used to tell me, if you want to lose weight, just stand in front of the bag and move like you're hitting an elliptical and keep punching it, but keep your hands up in the distance and focus and breathe. And you do I still do it. And 20 minutes, I'm drenched in sweat. So they said to go to Chibo's and get the Mama Maria's pasta, which is spaghetti with they got cheese already in the sauce, but there's no meatballs. And you get the organic salad, shit.
Delicious.
Shit, and you could get gluten-free pasta too.
Fuck that noise.
I know, but I don't do that shit.
That's that LA shit.
And then the Israeli restaurant used to have a nice piece of salmon. That's Aroma on Sunset. Used to have a nice piece of salmon with a nice salad, and you could buy a machine gun there. They're Israeli. So if you go in the back, you give them a nickel, they give you an M9 and shit. You're good to go.
What about Cuban food?
Cuban food, you got Versailles, but that's like
that place is all right to me.
Yeah, it's all right. I go to a place in Glendale called that's not bad. They got good specials, and I mix it up. My favorite is a place in Silver Lake called El Cochinito, but if you go there, you can only eat the fried pork chunks with the white rice, the black beans, and the fried bananas.
That's nice.
That's what I got for my wedding.
Oh, really?
I catered it. I got.
Oh, damn.
And I got pastrami from Langer's down by Alvarado. You ever go to Langer's down by Alvarado? You got to go there before 4. You get mugged. Across the street is
well, fuck the pastrami then, you know?
No.
Like, I don't want to risk that.
They close at 4.
It's that rough down there?
Dog, but it's the best pastrami. The bread is crispy.
Joy, I'm going to pass on the pastrami.
You got to stand online and to go in there. That's how big it's all filled with white people and rich Jews. I have been in there with my uncle, and I have seen Tom Hanks pull up in a car and go to the to-go window.
Damn.
No, they throw heat in there. Yeah. That's why. But it's in a neighborhood right across the street is that park from Alvarado. I went in there to smoke a joint once. 3 people came up to me and asked me if I wanted identification. They sell paperwork in there. They got fucking Social Security. For a nickel, you got a Social Security card, a license, and an insurance card for your car.
God damn.
Right across that street. They get guns. It's a big street.
What park is that? Not Echo Park.
Griffith?
No. This is on Alvarado. So you go on the 101, exit Alvarado, and make a right, and you go into this fucking ville that you've never seen before. It's kind of scary, but they got Langer's pastrami there.
That's your shit?
That's my shit. And I got a place up by my house now on Coldwater and
MacArthur Park?
What is it?
MacArthur Park? Is that it?
MacArthur Park. You'll get stabbed down there, dog.
Bro, I'm not. Fuck
Dog,
that pastrami,
they will
man.
fuck. No. It's worth every penny. Trust me, you're surrounded
worth
by.
the risk.
Yeah, because 4, you're surrounded by white people. If they shoot you, they got to shoot everybody. You get a nice little chicken and rice soup with a half a pastrami sandwich. You keep your Weight Watcher points. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking on.
Don't
man.
get the French fries. Get the fruit cup.
Yeah.
I'm good to go.
You're going good?
Bro, I figured it out how to eat in all those places and not get too fucked up.
I love it. You got some current events for us, Chin?
Yeah, actually, the one you guys were talking about when you first stepped in, the Luke Rockhold calling out Verdum.
Yeah.
Did you know about this? Because Verdum was on Ariel Helwani's show, and he was saying something like he wants to slap Luke Rockhold in the face. I guess they had some issues back in Strikeforce days.
Old school.
Really old school. And the issue was, I guess they were in the back, and then Verdum was just talking down to these guys, especially because back then Luke Rockhold was in the Challenger Series.
He wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, and then Luke just started standing up for himself. So then, obviously, Verdum didn't like it. So he challenged, Verdum challenged Luke Rockhold to a jiu-jitsu match where he could slap him. I'm guessing like Eddie Bravo's like,
open hand combat jiu-jitsu.
Something like that. But then Rockhold's like, screw that. Since there's like a messed up area in the 185 division right now because no one knows who's going to get what, he's like, I'll go up to heavyweight and fight him. So he wants to actually fight Verdum at heavyweight.
What's he walk around at, Luke?
Shit. 210? 215, and shredded. Like, it's not...
Yeah, I saw him at the airport. Yeah.
No, he's not... has he got any legs? Has the UFC given any word? Has Dan said anything?
No,
Nothing.
No, it's just all them talking to each other.
Because it's the thing, media. Joey. Like they're making all these like crazy superstar fights. Well, now you got a dude jumping from 185 to heavyweight. Like, do we just say fuck it and forget all the weight classes and just make super fights?
What does Verdum walk around at?
240.
It's a good fight.
Verdum actually said after this to respond, he was like, I don't want to fight you because I don't want to fight chickens. And on top of that, I'm next in line for the belt, so I don't need to fight you.
Verdum has a legit point.
Yeah, but I
mean, Verdum's like, hold on,
smack.
Why would I fight you at 80? Like, why? Because Verdum has everything to lose here. He's fighting a smaller man. He is next in line for a title shot. Remember, he's supposed to fight Kane. He's supposed to fight Rothwell, right? So they had all this stuff lined up. He wins that. He's next in line for the title shot.
Rothwell tested positive?
Yeah.
So,
well, he got flagged, so they don't know exactly what's going to happen yet, and he wants to tell people what's happening once the details come out. He goes like, "Don't believe anyone yet." Just
I try not to judge these guys because USADA's so strict. Dudes are tested positive for like fucking caffeine and stuff, and they get flagged for all. So I try not to judge guys. I like Rothwell a lot. You know, I fought the guy. He's a really good dude.
And he's a nice guy.
Nice guy. So I give him the benefit of the doubt until it comes out because with Cyborg, everyone just threw her under the bus. And
so that wasn't positive?
No, she got an exemption. And they actually, especially this thing, it's different than back in the day. They were like, no, it's an exemption. They're good. It was always skeptical hip eyes. Now, if the Golden Snitch, the USADA doctor, Nowitzki, gives you a pass, it's legit shit. They don't fuck around. So with Cyborg, she's been, she's good, man. Yeah. She's good.
The other day I read something about fucking poppy seed rolls.
Poppy seeds.
I was on federal fucking probation for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
I ducked all those piss tests. See, I was lucky. There was no hair test. I told Rogan one time what I would do. I would get fucked up the night before. I would snort coke till 4 a.m, and then you have to call at 1 to get the color. And if your color comes up, you got to go pee before 6 o'clock.
Fuck.
And I would drink a bottle of white vinegar.
The whole bottle?
The whole bottle with Gatorade, like a soldier. Just drink it.
A soldier?
I would fucking be pissing blood, but let me tell you something. I still came up positive. Fuck no. You can't take
it
coke.
Still came up positive.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say it did.
No. Fuck no. That's an old wives' tale. I drank that white. I would drink a 16 thing of white vinegar, cranberry juice, and Gatorade and go
Didn't
piss.
Matter.
No. And then I came back positive. Then they said, if you come back with another one, we're going to fucking throw you in prison. So I'm uncircumcised. So I came up. The next time I went, I put pool cleaner in my dick.
Tight move.
And I fucking held my helmet, the skin, like the fucking turtleneck. Sorry about this. Her jaw is dropping. And that's what's good. When you're uncircumcised, you can whack off. And if you have a tissue, you can just hold the top. And your dick swells up like a panther, like a snake and shit.
Like an elephant trunk.
Oh, my God.
Holding water.
It just swells up like an air balloon, and you just walk around and dip it in the toilet. There goes another one. You know how many times I just whack off? I don't want to mess. I just hold on to the turtleneck till the commercial comes, and I go to the bathroom and undrain my little egg white juice. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
But the second time I put pool cleaner in there, and I still came, like I fucked up the machine, right? They were like, we couldn't get a read on you. By that time, I was clean.
You were out. Yeah.
Oh, I was out. But
did you ever think of just not doing coke the night before?
No, I'm in the halfway house. I got to have fun. So the third time, I took my dick, pulled it back, and I put Drano on that motherfucker.
Well, that can't feel good.
Dog, I still got scars from the little Drano on my helmet. Like, it looks like a little fella.
It looks like the front nose of a great white shark.
It looks like I got shot with 1,000 BBs on my helmet. That shit burned my dick, but that time I broke the machine too.
Fuck, man.
Oh my God, I would use everything. I would not let them. They would fucking go crazy. They would send somebody in the bathroom with me. And and then one time they made me piss in the cup, and that time I threw Drano, the stuffed, Drano. And when he was doing the paperwork, I put the bottle on the desk, and you could see the bottle. It was vibrating. It was starting to foam. I'm like, I gotta get out of here before that bitch starts foaming out of here and shit. When that doctor must have opened that thing and that piss shot out of there, they knew. They fucking
know.
They were furious.
Yeah.
They could never get me.
So you're a full blown addict, man. If you can't take a night off.
Dog, I was selling coke in the Federal Halfway House. They had those ceilings like this, so I would put the scale up there and the coke. And I remember weighing the coke, and the fucking coke rocks would go on the floor, and I'd have to, and those little powders from the thing would fall on the carpeting. And I'll never forget the lady came in one day. She's like, "We got to get somebody to work on that because a lot of white stuff keeps falling off your thing. I had coke all over the fucking floor." You have no idea.
But you don't fuck with any of that.
Nothing,
weed
nothing.
Really, but that's
just
it.
weed. And I gave up edibles for Lent.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just gave them up for Lent. I said, I went to church. And I said, you know what am I going to give up this year? I said, fuck it, I'll give up edibles.
Shit, how's that going?
Tremendous.
You feel great?
Yeah, I had to get my resistance low, dog. It was too high.
Oh.
I was eating too many things and not getting a big bang. Like, I would go home at 11 and be straight. I wouldn't even be hungry. What the fuck am I eating 2,000 milligrams for?
Yeah.
So I just stopped. And now I'm just smoking
weed. And you feel good?
Yeah, and I'm getting higher from smoking weed, and I'm good. This is all you need. A lot of water.
No, I love
a couple
it, man.
Needles. You know what I'm saying? You're good, dog.
A little Drano on the dick. What else you got, Chin?
The next one is Floyd Mayweather. His team reached out to Kevin Lee, the MMA fighter, the Motown phenom.
The guy from Detroit, the black guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Motown, exactly. So, yeah, they reached out to him to train with Mayweather.
That's how you know this shit's getting real. When Conor
real.
McGregor starts bringing UFC fighters to mimic Conor McGregor. And I'll tell you this right now, I would not say Kevin Lee is a good mimic of Conor McGregor. He's a wrestler.
Right? Yeah.
His base is wrestling. So if he should do anything, he should. This is just them not knowing the sport. If they should do anything, they should bring in, because obviously money isn't a fucking issue to Floyd Mayweather. They should fly in that Brazilian cat that Jose Aldo used to mimic Conor McGregor. Granted, it didn't work out for him, but he does move very similar to Conor McGregor. I've never seen one move like Conor McGregor. This guy in Brazil that Jose Aldo used, he's very similar, very unorthodox. That's what he needs is unorthodox strikers to get ready for Conor McGregor.
So if it happens, when will it happen?
September. They wanted to do it in June, but Conor's having a baby in May, so that's too soon, and they want to build it up more.
Yeah, it's this guy. I forgot his name.
Do they have his name on there? Yeah, he's been fighting in Jungle Fight. Jonas
Bellarino.
Yes.
But he did look just like Conor, the way he was.
He moves. He has very similar movement. He's a monster. Why he's not signed with the UFC, I have no fucking clue. The kid's a monster.
Now, what does Aldo do? He just waits for Holloway now?
Yeah, him and Holloway are fighting. It's official. That's a fight,
That's
man.
a great. Now, where's that fight? That's not in Dallas, is it?
No, that's not Dallas. I don't think they've officially. It's going down. I don't think do they have a location yet, Chin?
I'll check it out right now.
Oh shit!
212.
God, make him go all the way to Brazil again, huh? And that they want to put Vitor and is Anderson on that too? I think Anderson versus Kelvin's on that.
So when is 212?
UFC 212.
Where? When?
Brazil.
When? So April.
We'll figure it out right here.
Yeah, I think that is
June 3rd, 2017.
Yep.
So who's going Memorial Day weekend? What are we gonna do for the fucking July 4th card?
They're gonna put some banger together. They're putting a banger together.
I mean, I see all these dates. You got April 8th. We still got Memorial Day in Vegas, which is traditionally big. And we still got 4th of July. Who the fuck are they planning for those? Because Dallas is fucking stacked.
Super stacked.
Stacked.
Well, Tony and Khabib would be on one of those, I would assume. One of those.
And it would be Amanda Nunes against who?
Amanda
Next.
Nunes versus homegirl
Shevchenko, right?
Shevchenko, yeah. That'll be in June.
That's a good one. Now,
That's
when
a
is
good one. 5 rounds too? Tough fight for Amanda Nunes.
Now, when is the girl that got flagged coming?
Cyborg?
Cyborg. Wouldn't you give her Nunes? Would that be
No,
the
because
same?
she fights at 45.
45.
So this is funny. So originally Amanda Nunes was like, when Holly and that other girl were fighting, she goes, Geronimi. When Holly and Geronimi were fighting, Amanda Nunes goes, I have the belt at 35. I have the belt at 35. I want the belt at 45 too. And then Drenmin won, and they're like, "Oh, cool, Cyborg's back." She's like, "I'm good. I'm gonna stay at 35. Fuck that belt at 45." She came out and said, "Was like, I don't want to fight Cyborg."
So now it would be Geronimi against
Cyborg.
Cyborg.
That's gonna happen too on those cards
One
you
of
mentioned.
those fights.
That's gonna happen.
Well, she was having hand surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah, so who knows?
Who knows
when she's going to come back?
Trust me, they're not gonna wait for her. When Cyborg's ready, that's the draw.
You got to get her while she's hot, dog.
Yep.
Before she eats one of those yum pills. Before she puts the wrong one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody put a fucking fucking D-ball in my fucking in my friend Flintstone's pills and shit.
Her nutritionist needs to be on the fucking
point.
ball. Like, no.
Now, what else do they really flag you for little things?
Yeah, there's just a lot of things. Like there's been a lot of guys, like even Yoel Romero, who we joke around about, and the Dirty Bird, the guys like that who, they test positive, but it comes out there like, I have no idea. They flagged me for something that we didn't even fucking realize.
Now,
it'll be inside of a supplement, and they'll get those supplements, and it'll show that all these supplements have that thing, so they didn't purposely take it.
Now, Joe was telling me that you could go to fucking GNC and buy a protein powder in GNC that you will get fucking stacked. Mm-hmm. Are you serious?
Yeah, they put that androstenedione and some form of steroids in it, and so they're like, "Oh, boost your testosterone," but there's a lot of chemical shit in there, and that's so unhealthy for you because if you remember those androstenedione days, like really the one who started off was Mark McGuire because he was like, "Oh, I was just using this and it was legal androstenedione, and there's like pills in his locker." Well, it's a form of steroids. But it's all oral, and it's so fucking toxic for your liver. It's like the worst thing you can take, man.
Like a lot of guys in jiu-jitsu are a little older, and they take the other thing from GNC. And they really like it. Cordyceps, Cordyjex, Generex, or something like that. And they said...
Testosterone booster or something like that?
Something. And Mike, the guy told me, he goes, don't take none of that stuff. You don't want nothing messing
You don't want to mess with that stuff.
With that stuff. I don't take nothing. I take a protein powder from Onnit.
Yeah. Onnit's as pure as it gets.
I make the hemp protein with ice cubes.
Yep, there you go.
A little coconut milk or something in the morning.
I feel you, brother.
And I put 2 or 3 scoops in because I need more than 16 fucking grams of protein.
I do the same. Me
you
too.
You need 30 of fucking...
Yeah, I need some shit, man. What else you got, Chin?
All right, so this is a little bit older, but the CSAC, California State Athletic Commission, they were doing... Well, this is the second one, but they're actually doing fines 20% of the actual purse and the win money. So if your competitor doesn't show up on weight, they can't just get the 20% just for the purse. They got 20% knocked off their win money too to give to the other people.
It's not enough. So you know how guys keep missing weight, Joey?
Yeah.
So now they're saying, the commission's saying, all right, we're going to fine you 20% of your show and win money if you miss weight.
To take the sting off a little bit.
It's not enough though.
Yeah.
It should there should be no fight. And it should be deemed a loss. And homeboy, it's the guy who did make weight and can still fight should get his full purse.
I didn't really know about weight cutting like this to this extreme. Like I thought weight cutting, I fucking Brendan, what are you at? 203? You got to go down to 185. It's a month away. I suggest you stop eating cupcakes, and if you work out hard enough. But I didn't know that you have to be in certain levels of like peak performance.
Oh,
like
yeah,
Dolce
man.
explained
It's
it
a
to me.
science.
I was like, if the camp starts 12 weeks away, and you're banging it out every day, you mean to tell me you can't drop 30 fucking pounds? But it's
Science.
a lot harder than what the fuck. It's really hard.
And it gets harder over time. Like, the first time you cut weight, it's going to be easier. Second time, it's a little more challenging. Third time, a little more challenging. It gets more difficult because your body starts, adapting to things, man.
I couldn't even imagine. Because, Khabib was, 6 pounds a day before he got sick?
Yeah, but they said he came in that week of the fight a little heavier than usual. And then those 6 pounds, if a Russian is going to the hospital, some shit's going down. If fucking Khabib, if they have to rush him to the hospital, he was that close to liver failure. So it must have been some shit.
And now, how long hadn't he eat? Because I don't explain. Don't they have supplements or water?
That's his nutrition. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
So is Dolce pretty much the only guy that has it down in the business, or is
no,
there a couple guys?
No, yeah. Dolce gets and Mike's very good, and I love Mike what he does. You know, he got his name big because he was incorporated with the UFC and with a lot of guys. Chael, Vitor,
Great
Ronda.
guy.
Some
great
guy.
fucking recipes in that book.
Yeah,
too.
it's great. Oh, the
Great
Dolce
recipe.
chili, I fucking love it.
Love
I use
that
it all the
chili.
time.
I
fucking
love
that
and the
chili all
pasta
time.
too. He has some pasta
It's
that he
great
makes
shit.
that's simple.
No,
He's got some other shit I don't like.
You know why when you think of nutritionists and weight cutting, we think of Dolce because he's branded himself. He's thought outside the business. He's made himself so well known. But there's a lot of other really good nutritionists.
I made him a
out there.
personal friend. Like I like him a lot.
I've known
I
Mike
talked to
for
him on the phone.
years.
Good guy.
Yes.
Good fucking guy.
He's a beast, one of the best in the business, and he's really grown his brand the right way, man.
You still going back to Boulder at all anytime or Denver anymore? Or
God damn, I haven't been back there for a while, man. I want to go back to Boulder and go to a CU game and talk to the team and stuff like that. I just got to find the time.
So you went to CU?
Yeah, man. You know that place. You know Boulder.
Fuck.
I love that place.
I used to go to church with Bill McCarthy.
Yeah, man.
That's how long, when he was still before Promise Keepers.
Yeah.
That's how long I was in Boulder. I used to see him at church. I used to take classes with Mike Pritchard.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of those guys, man. A lot of good guys in Boulder. It's my life. I can't believe I can't go back to Boulder.
You can't.
I won't go back to Boulder.
Why is that?
I don't trust myself.
Reminds you too many good times, you get in some trouble?
No, I might stab some people.
Oh, yeah. Some
So
bad.
when I go to Denver, I just stay in Denver and mind my business.
Comedy Works downtown? Just chill there?
Just
Yeah.
in case I go to Boulder and I get a flashback or something. that cuts me
Freak
off.
out.
The next thing I end up in Lafayette, like OJ, smoking a cigarette covered in blood. You ever see the last scene of Angel Heart?
No.
Fucking when the guy, after he kills Lisa Bonet. Have you ever seen Angel
No.
Heart?
Old school.
Mickey Rourke, Robert De Niro as the devil.
Damn.
And Lisa Bonet. In fact, I'll give you this. I got to get out of here in 10. But in fact, let me tell you how creepy Cosby was. Cosby Show was number one in the country. He fired Lisa Bonet from that show for doing a sex scene.
What the fuck?
This is what people don't remember about Cosby.
She did leave right after a while.
No, she left after fucking that. Yeah. There's 2 sex scenes in that movie. There's a sex scene where she shows a tit, and there's another sex scene that's extended with blood's coming out of her.
And Cosby fired over that?
Oh, shit, you got to see the sex scene. This ain't your usual, Jennifer Aniston bullshit where she shows you a cheek. It's Mickey Rourke and her going at it, and she's bleeding. She's dead, and Mickey Rourke's pounding her, and blood's all over the fucking room. And then the cops show up, and they realize that fucking he killed her. Like, it's a crazy movie. You have to watch
great movie.
You have to watch Angel Heart. I watched it twice the same day when it came out because it's crazy. I just got it about a year ago.
How old is it?
1987. One of the greatest stories I've ever taught. Netflix is too much of a pussy to put it on there.
Really?
Mickey Rourke was bad to the bone, and De Niro was on fire in that movie. But at the end, there's a scene where he remembers everything he did, and he's got a fucking straight razor in his hand. His face is covered with blood, and he's smoking a cigarette, and you see the blood on the cigarette from his fingers. That's Joey when the cops get there. I'll just be sitting there, even though I don't smoke. Just be smoking a cigarette with blood all over me. And when the cops jump on him, he turns around, and there's a guy standing by the door, and he looks over at him, and it's De Niro as the devil, only without the beard and just with a little hat, like just making sure, I got you, cocksucker.
Damn.
It's a story about a soldier who goes to the war, and he's into voodoo stuff. And when he comes back, he cut a deal with the devil to give him his soul. He was a singer.
Damn.
And he said, fuck the deal with the devil. I'm going to leave. And he found the thing in the Bible that the only way to get out of this deal is to kill somebody and eat their heart and read this incantation. This is a fucked up movie, dog.
Some dark shit.
He eats
Good luck in that movie made today.
Oh my God! They couldn't make that movie today. They're too busy remaking The Matrix.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because they should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah,
ashamed of themselves.
Hollywood.
Remaking The Matrix, and that's the only way you could eat the heart. So he got away with it for 20 fucking years. Then the devil said, "We're gonna go hunt this motherfucker down."
Damn, sounds like such a good movie.
So he hires Mickey Rourke to look for the singer, and Mickey Rourke goes to New Orleans. Goes to fucking Brooklyn.
And this is Mickey Rourke before the face surgery,
Mickey Rourke
before the zebra
throwing
pants.
heat. This is the last fucking temptation of Mickey Rourke. He had done the one where he put balloons up Kim Bassinger's pussy. He did The Pope of Greenwich Village. Oh, yeah. This little fucking, what's this little movie they got now? With the dude and the chick, Don Johnson's daughter. And then
50 Shades of Grey, right?
Get the fuck out of here. That was done by Mickey Rourke and Kim Basinger.
Really?
Oh, and he freaks her, puts candles in her pussy and shit.
That's the real 50
Oh,
Shades.
that's the real 50 fucking Shades of Dick. Was no 50 Shades of Gray. It was 50 Shades of Cock. From magenta to purple, you're getting dick. And then he cut the Pope. You ever see the Pope of Greenwich Village?
No, man.
Classic. Classic with Eric Roberts. What do you need a fancy suit for? You ain't got no job to wear it to. All that shit. And then he came out with Angel Heart. And there was something else in between. So at the end, you know what he finds out? That Mickey Rourke was the motherfucking singer.
Oh, damn.
Who cut the... And it's... Dog, I could tell you the ending, and you're going to watch it, and you still can't
No,
figure
I'm
it
in.
out.
Yeah,
You
I'm
still
in.
can't figure it out. You'll sit there going, Joey, what the fuck just happened? Like, you can't figure it out. And then that's at the end. De Niro breaks it down for me. He's like, you're nothing but a punk. You tried to cut a deal with me.
Damn.
Like De Niro. And at one meeting, De Niro's talking to him, like De Niro's working him and shit. De Niro knows it's him. And De Niro's like, let me ask you something. Are you a religious man? And Mickey Rourke is like, not really. And he goes, some religions consider the egg the soul. And you see De Niro with long fingernails and a tuxedo on, how he takes an egg, he breaks it on the table, and he goes like this. Then he takes the shell off. He sprinkles some salt on it, and he goes, the soul. And he goes, and he bites the fucking egg. And you know what his name is? You know what his name is? Louis Cypher. Lucifer. God damn!
What is up,
What
son?
the fuck, son? So that's your homework assignment for the week.
Fucking in.
Angel Heart.
I think we end it there, man.
That's
I'm
it.
fucking in.
That's
Angel
it.
Heart.
Angel Heart. Mickey Rourke, Robert De Niro, and watch that chick throw a fucking piece of ass. And she was married to the singer then. Well, my mama said, dun, 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 dun. What's that guy?
I don't know.
Come on,
Oh,
the black dude with the dreads.
Lenny
and shit.
Kravitz.
She was married to Lenny Kravitz.
Oh,
dog.
okay, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
and now
okay.
Lenny Kravitz's daughter was in Road Warrior.
Yeah, and she's in X-Men.
Yeah, she's badass.
she's killing it.
But
Yeah,
watch,
she's
hey, that's your
badass.
movie for the week.
I'm in
On
it.
the Big Brown Breakdown.
I'm
Hit
on
me
it.
up. Angel Heart. You're going to love it.
I'm gonna call you when I get
I'm
done
very
watching
proud
it.
of you for what you did the other night.
Thanks, brother.
I wouldn't have drove down here.
Yeah, I know, man. It means a lot.
You impressed the shit out of me.
Thanks,
all the way
brother.
to my heart. You made me really proud that you're part of our family and you weren't just trying to do a publicity stunt.
No, I wouldn't
Because
embarrass
we hate
you guys
that
like
shit.
that.
When me and Rogan get on a plane,
Yeah.
you're done. I'll give you the kiss of death on the plane to
Yeah.
Rogan. Because I don't talk to Joe. Only on a plane do I give me a beating and let him know what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, maybe.
Yeah.
You're right. You got a point. And I'm very proud of you.
Yeah,
And
dude,
love
I
you.
appreciate it.
And
Yeah, I love
anything
you
else
too,
I
man.
can do for you.
You're the best ever,
I'll
brother.
do anything
Thanks
for
for coming
you.
down, man.
Thank you for having me. Sorry about my language.
Joey Diaz, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.
Dude, that's fucking great.
So cool, man.
Yeah.
Such a
That
Yeah,
movie
you-
sounds fucking
No.
ridiculous.
Just put the trailer on for Angel Heart.
Angel Heart.
Watch this. This is the crazy. Nobody knows about this. This is the shit that kills me.